Somebody asked me why I liked Alacritty, and I'm just taking this opportunity on Father's Day, Saturday, June 20th, to do it. Uh, and there's no better present to give your dad than Alacritty. Okay, that doesn't work. Whatever. I'm just going to talk about it. I'm so excited to talk about this because I really, 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 really love it for lots of reasons, which I'm going to get into. So, first of all, why is it the best? I'm just going to read what I have here. Alacritty is the fastest terminal emulator I've ever used. It has GPU acceleration. All terminal emulators have GPU acceleration of some kind, but not the way Alacritty does. And it's like magic food that they're doing in there to make it like really, really fast. And if you've used terminal editors for a long time, since the beginning, you know how awesome it is to have a terminal editor that just flows like butter. And when you kind of do that kind of movement and spam the arrow keys, and it moves that fast without glitching out or anything, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a real valuable thing if you're on a computer a lot. I gotta tell you, it's ruined me a little bit too. Because why? Because I tend to spam the arrow keys even more than I used to. I was already starting to do it, and you've heard me talk in VI Survive about why you don't necessarily need to learn how to navigate to the second character in the middle of the third word, using like 10 different keystrokes that have to go together. That's kind of some of the old school, boomer VI usage, which you should probably still learn at some point, but you don't need it. You can just spam the arrow keys. Yeah, it's okay. No shame. Okay. If you've got an emulator that's that fast, you can do some pretty shameful things. You can just spam stuff around. So that's actually one of the reasons I like it, is because it is so fast. So when I get lazy and tired and I don't want to have any extra cognitive overhead about how I'm going to, go through the file, I can just, hit the arrow key or the H or the J or K or whatever. All right, so that's the number one reason I like it. It's definitely the fastest terminal emulator. I've heard somebody say something about Suckless and some other terminals that are out there. I haven't tried them, so I can't compare. Not a good chance I'm ever going to switch from Alacritty now for all the rest of the reasons I'm going to talk about. So the next big reason is that you have a dynamic configuration file. So I can change my opacity like this. I can change my opacity to make it fully opaque by setting these numbers, and then I can set it back to, I don't know, I'll set it to 44. And you're like, well, that's cool. Does Alacritty let you do that? No, I did that. And you know why? Because it updates its configuration file. So check this out, man. This is like the coolest thing ever. I can't remember what my opacity command even is. So I'm going to go look at it. Oh, it's a script. Okay, so let's go look at it. So opacity. Why is it not working? Oh, yeah. There we go. So here's my opacity script. It's a really horrible script. I need to clean this up. This is not suitable. But anyway, it's really fast. It tests to see whether there's an argument. If there is, it takes that value. Open up the YAML file, which I am a huge fan of YAML. Controversial with some, others not so much. I just use a ProPy on it, and I replace the background opacity, and immediately it pops up. By the way, that's another reason you should learn Perl. Because why? Because I can do find and replace and use spans and stuff. It's way better than awk. Don't you dare fight me on that, because I'll win it every time. There's no reason to use awk. Well, it's not on the system. Well, that may be the only time you ever learn that. So my point is that, so as you saw me just use, I need to change the opacity back a little bit. It's a little bit too crazy. How about 5? About 6? Okay, there we go. So as you can see, I can script anything I want. If I wanted to make it full screen, I could. Anything that can be included in that wonderful YML file can be altered, and you can optionally turn on auto detection of configuration file change. You play like a tiny little second, it actually has a separate thread that runs that checks that file. It's not like it's going to affect rendering. Just brilliantly written. And I want to say I haven't gotten deep into the code, but it is all written. Oh, I'm going to kind of let up on my idea here first. I got something else to share. Did I close my thing? I might have to cut this part out. So, what does it mean? It's a hash on the type. Oh, we'll talk about that later. That is, Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna have to cut all that out. So here we go. So fast, super fast dynamic configuration with a YML file. I can do whatever I want with that. Any kind of scripting I want to change the configuration in any way I want. The YAML file is really solid. In fact, I use that YAML file as an example of why YAML is good, including things that people hate, like linking. So all the theming uses YAML on purpose to show that. Let me actually show you. I don't have a lot of regular stuff that you might find in a YAML file, like comments. I deleted them all out, but this is a YAML file. No need to source Alacritty YML. No, never. And I can just go in here and change it all out. And of course, I do have this saved in a Git, in a .files repo, and it frequently changes when it gets saved in my .files. But that's not a problem. I don't mind that. But this is what I want to show you. So this is a proper use of. So in this, what this is, it provides a link to this section of the document in YAML, and then you can actually down here when it sets the colors, it uses a reference to that link. That sort of mapping, like linked mapping like that, it gets YAML yelled at all the time, but it's also one of its most powerful functions for storing data in a human readable way. And I just cannot tell you how much I love it. So there's a background opacity, which was changed by my last little thing there. And it's got all these other things you can play with, and I suggest you probably start with somebody's file. You're welcome to look for mine in the dot files. In fact, I will send our studio audience a copy right now. There you go. Or did it not work? Did you guys get a copy or no? I don't know if you got a copy. I might have to do it. What happened to my ex command? Anyway, ex. Did I kill my ex command? So. That should have gone to you guys, but we'll see if it didn't. Anyway, let's go back here. So, got to read my comments more often. What are you talking about? Okay, so the theme links are awesome. I've talked about that. Completely free software, so it's Apache 2. I've blogged a lot about this. I don't want to talk about it right now. Apache 2 is hands down the best permissive license for all the reasons you want a permissive license, and most importantly because it includes patent extensive language. People don't like it because it's a long license, but that's exactly why you should use it. The most permissive license should also be the most reliable license, and Apache 2 has been tested a lot under legal scrutiny, and lawyers love it. That's the kind of license you want. You don't want some simple little 2-line license if you want to get a corporation or somebody like that to adopt your software. So Apache 2 is my favorite permissive license, and it uses that. The fact that the team just even knows to use that just says so much about the team all by itself. They didn't just throw it out under MIT or BSD like everybody else. It's a multi-platform support. You can run this on anything, and if you go out to the site, they actually have multiple packages that you can package manager methods, AUR, Debian. They even have a geeks listing. I mean, it's just so cool. Obviously the team behind the Alacritty project really knows their stuff, and that there's no way more to know that than to have met the maintainer of the project, Undead Leech, and I'm going to put a shout out for him. He has been a phenomenally awesome, amazing, fun participant on our live streams. He was having so much fun. We should probably highlight that stream. He was having so much fun with us on Over the Wire one day when he found out that the TTYs were wide open and anybody logged in could have their TTYs messed with. And we were like, we look like the credits to Monty Python and the Holy Grail when the sombreros started showing up. It was like flashing and it was like all blinking and everything. Undead Leech is awesome. He's also the one who filled in a bounty for us to make this fish transparent. He did just one night. He fixed that for us, so I constantly give him credit for that. This is the only ASCII aquarium that has a transparent background. In case you're wondering, if you want a copy, here you go. But again, yet another reason to use Alacritty is because the team is awesome, and the most awesome of whom is Undead Leech, the maintainer right now. So thank you so much, Alacritty Project, for making such an amazing thing. I just want to say, I regularly bag on projects that I don't particularly like, or I maybe think are silly in their design decisions. It's never the people, of course. But I just wanted to put this one out here too, because this project rocks. I mean, this entire thing, by the way, is done in Rust, which I forgot to list here. Oh my goodness. So this is coded in Rust, and I tell everybody that this is a perfect example of Rust's sweet spot. This is where Rust was born. This is the kind of stuff Rust was born to do. There's no garbage collection, and it's hyper optimized for performance, and it's really really safe, and it's C code that it's going to be on everybody's system, so you don't want to have any problems with it. Plus, everybody's going to be running it to do really important things, and it has full color support. And so it's a big deal, and for that reason, some comments from the Peanut Gallery about Rust and Scala. It's funny you say that, because there's a Forbes article in 2015 that predicted the top two languages, the top two most highly paid languages you might never heard of, and they predicted Go and Scala. Those are the two languages, and it looks like Go is of course among them, but Rust is quickly taking its place right now, and that'll be another video. I'm going through the Rust obsession right now myself, after having coded some peg grammar in it and playing around with that. Really love it. Lots of reasons to stay tuned, to come back another time, but for right now I'm going to go back, take a break, and give Alacritty a try. It's an extra step, obviously. GNOME terminal or something's going to be on your system by default, so you'll have to go down and you have to download it, put it on your system, but they made it very easy to give it a try. And so give it a shot and see if you like it, and leave comments in the messages, or come let us know your experience on stream live if you can. Thank you for the nice comments, and I'm going to go ahead and close it up there. See ya.